Usiyahlanya yini? Uright like hand.
Excuse me.
Unompeto wami ukhuluma la ukuthi wena uzinhle baby daddy kazinhle principal Mthembu. Aweke ukuthi umonakalo ozowenza ungakanani la. Uzoxoshwa esigela futhi bazokusuwa. Lento yenza i-defamation of character. Defamation of character.
So kulimaza phezulu kokupha. Intombazane encane, Khaya. Ingane ifile. Ngoba thina siyeke umuntu omdala wafika wazenzela lapha yakuye. Ngaphezulu kwalokho asenzanga lutho thina umsiza.
Hello everyone, welcome back to ASR, African Stories Realized. This is our weekly review of Youngins Season 1. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it. Episode 10 picks up with a commotion in the girls' dorm, where Palesa has found a positive pregnancy test. The discovery resulted in the girls pointing fingers at each other, but Amu immediately suspected that the test belonged to Zinhle. Amu's room then got raided again before Principal Mthembu summoned her to the office, which Amu dismissed as the principal's attempt to intimidate her. However, despite Amu's determination to help Zinhle, Mahlatsa warned her that there's not much they can do if Zinhle continues to refuse talking to them. Following their humiliation at the Freshers' Ball, Alex officially dumped Tumelo and even accused him of having internalized homophobia. Pearl also gave the students a strong lecture about alcohol abuse. Meanwhile, Khaya showed regret after he disrespected a teacher at the Freshers' Ball, which is now trending on social media. Sefako also expressed his disappointment in Khaya for getting too drunk and bringing heat on them. Khaya apologized to de Klerk for disrespecting him, and he seemingly accepted the apology. However, Khaya was later summoned to the principal's office where he was suspended. The episode ends with the principal requesting a meeting with Khaya's parents as he hands him the suspension letter. Episode 11 picks up with Khaya returning home following his suspension. We are introduced to his parents, and his strict father immediately confronted him about the events surrounding his suspension. Khaya denied any wrongdoing, claiming that de Klerk was picking on him in class, which is true, but it doesn't absolve him of his behavior at the Freshers' Ball. While Khaya was at home, his father's abusive nature was evident as he snapped at Khaya for the smallest things, just looking for an excuse to lay hands on him. Back at the school, Amu finally confronted Zinhle about the pregnancy test, questioning if it was hers and encouraging Zinhle to confide in her so that she can help. Following his breakup with Alex, Tumelo went back to Sefako and begged him to take him back, apologizing for trying to force him out of his comfort zone. Sefako, however, claimed he was not interested, but after a bit more persistence from Tumelo, Sefako said he would consider it. The episode ends with Amu's suspicions being reaffirmed after she sees Zinhle and the principal having a tense conversation on campus. Episode 12 picks up with Khaya and his parents arriving at school for their meeting with the principal that would determine if his suspension will be lifted. The teacher he disrespected, de Klerk, joined the meeting, and to their credit, Khaya's parents stood up for their son, but the tables turned on Khaya when de Klerk produced social media footage of the incident. Khaya's parents were forced to quickly apologize for their son's actions. Mr. Mthembu ultimately accepted the apologies and agreed to lift Khaya's suspension. However, his father was so furious that following the meeting, he whipped Khaya in front of the entire school as his peers watched on in horror. Meanwhile, Tumelo is still trying to get back with Sefako. The former couple met up at their secret spot where Tumelo once again apologized and admitted that Alex was just a rebound. Sefako conceded and took Tumelo back, but with strict conditions. A determined Amu is still trying to convince her friends that Zinhle is pregnant and that Mr. Mthembu is indeed the father. However, her friends are still skeptical and refuse to join Amu on her mission to uncover the principal's predatory ways. Amu then went looking for Zinhle, but when she finally found her, the teen was in a bad shape. Amu found Zinhle bleeding excessively in her bed after what appeared to be an illegal abortion. Zinhle initially refused Amu's help because she was afraid of being expelled. However, Amu eventually convinced her to let her call an ambulance. The episode ends with confusion at the school as the ambulance rushed Zinhle to the hospital, with the matron and students questioning a traumatized Amu. Episode 13 picks up in the aftermath of Zinhle's incident. The entire school is speculating on who could have impregnated her. Amo is more determined than ever that Mr. Mthembu was the father of Zinhle's child, and she does her best trying to convince Buhle of it. Meanwhile, Matlato was still trying to get with Amo, but Tumelo encouraged him to man up and warned him that he's digging himself deeper into the friend zone. Khaya's suspension is over, and he returned to school where he tried to stay positive despite his father humiliating him in front of his peers. The students gathered in the hall, but at the end of the presentation, the principal announced to the school that Zinhle had sadly died. Following the announcement of Zinhle's passing, Matlatse tried to comfort Amo, who was feeling guilty for not being able to do more. The episode ends with her admitting to Matlatse that her family wasn't perfect, revealing that her father was abusive towards her mother and ended her life, which Amo witnessed herself. Episode 14 picks up following Zinhle's death. Her parents have arrived at the school where the students are preparing a memorial service for their daughter. Matlatse tells Tumelo that him and Amo are pretty much an item. However, he might have got the wrong idea because when Tumelo asked Amo if anything was going on between them, she insisted that they were just friends, something which she even reiterated in front of Matlatse, casting doubt over the relationship he thought they had. Khaya and Buhle discussed Zinhle's passing, but he completely lost it after Buhle shared Amo's suspicions with him. He immediately went to confront Amo about her suspicions, with the group once again arguing over how viable the allegations are. Khaya continued to be in denial because he looks up to the principal as a father figure. The episode ends with Amo returning to her room, more certain than ever that Mr. Mthembu is to blame for Zinhle's death. Buhle watched on as her determined roommate vowed to bring down the principal of their school. Episode 15 picks up on the day of Zinhle's memorial, and the effects of her passing continue to be felt throughout the school. Matlatse continued to dig himself deeper into the friend zone with Amo, whereas Khaya apologized to Amo for confronting her over the principal, but the two continued arguing over Khaya's defense of the principal and Amo's refusal to leave the matter alone. The students held a beautiful memorial for Zinhle, but during the event, Buhle witnessed Mr. Mthembu inappropriately touching a 9th grade girl. Following the memorial, Buhle shared what she had seen with the rest of the gang and finally committed to helping Amo uncover the principal's sinister ways. Khaya was still reluctant to accept that the allegations were true and insisted Mr. Mthembu was a good man, but Buhle was certain about what she had seen. The episode ends with Buhle, Amo, Tumelo and Matlatse trying to convince the conflicted Khaya to join them on their mission to bring down the principal. That was easily the best 6 episodes so far. Things escalated really quickly and Zinhle's storyline was very powerful. It's a moment this show really needed as a cornerstone. All of a sudden it has more purpose. And like I mentioned in one of the first reviews, it has the potential to be great if it takes itself seriously. I don't even mind the comedy because Tepo is hilarious, but I feel like it's been very random and misplaced so far this season. Hopefully the quality from these last 6 episodes can be sustained or even improved on. I enjoyed the introduction of Khaya's parents and just seeing him in the home setting. That was very well done. And I have to admit that the adults give the show an extra dimension. Once again, the show did well to plant some doubt and build up the suspense before finally confirming just how evil the principal is. Needless to say, he wanted Zinhle to bleed to death, and she would have if Amo hadn't shown up. Matlatse also revealed that the principal was unemployed for a long time and nobody would hire him, so he might actually have a long history of preying on schoolgirls. Pearl delivers some really strong moral points today, although I still feel like there's more to Pearl. I'm not sure if we can trust her just yet. There might be more to her as well, but I don't know if the show plans on exploring that. I apologize to those who were expecting a review last week. I wasn't feeling well, but I'm all caught up now, and we'll be back next week with another review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is ASR for the love of African filmmaking and storytelling.